Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to be doing an unboxing, review, and kind of walk through as far as setup and installation of the Roborock Qrevo S. This is going to be a robotic vacuum combined with a mop. Currently you can get this on Amazon for $799, which is very expensive. However, just a couple weeks ago, it was only $499. And so I decided to purchase it at that time because I just moved into a new apartment and I really wanted to optimize my time focusing on work. And so I felt like getting a combined robotic mop and vacuum would really allow me to clean the entire apartment pretty much entirely without having to do it myself, minus some vacuuming in some areas and mopping in some areas and kind of routine maintenance. But I just wanted to optimize my time and thought it was time to get a robotic vacuum and mop. And so I looked online, looked at different brands and options, looked at different price points, came across Roborock as far as a brand, and it had superb reviews. Initially I was thinking about getting the S8 Max. However, that one was priced about $50 more when I bought this one. And when I did some research on the rationale for why it's more expensive, it seems like the S uses specifically Libra mops as compared to the Qrevo uses Revo mops. And it's overall the Revo mops are less expensive as far as replacement, and they're produced at a lower cost. And so that's the rationale why you see a difference in the price point between those two. I'm not an expert on vacuums like this, don't really know much. Really, this is just unboxing it, going over the features and walking through it. But the key features of this one is it's gonna have auto mop washing, it'll have 7,000 Pascal for suction force, it'll have a self-emptying and refilling capability for the mopping component, as well as the vacuuming component. There's a 10mm mop lift, so it'll elevate off, or vacuum lift, so it can elevate onto carpets and things like that. It'll have 200 RPMs for the mops. It has smart obstacle avoidance, so it avoids and auto detects. And if you look at the maps online, as far as the reviews, it should do a superb job as far as optical avoidance, or not optical, yeah, I guess obstacle avoidance. I don't know why I'm saying it wrong. But the maps cover apartments very well and compared to other ones. And so it does have to learn smart mapping and 3D mapping, but then once it learns it, it can kind of facilitate cleaning much easier. Additionally, this is all white, so I wanted a white one because all my furniture is white. Black just didn't really work. There was one where it was white as far as the vacuum, but the canister was black, so I really like the aesthetics of the all white appearance. And then this has 7-week lifespan as far as using it before you need to replace the battery or something like that. Has a docking station, has an app-based system as well for turning it on, creating areas where you don't want to vacuum or clean in your house, and specifically saying do I want to vacuum or mop in a certain area, or combine one or both. And so that's all built in. It also auto detects that. Actually, on my ride to my new home or apartment, I stayed with my best friend, and in their kitchen area or dining room area was a Roborock. So they actually had the Roborock plus the Roborock wet vacuum, and they swore by it. They showed me the app, so I'm super excited to get this open. But that was a long introduction, but we'll show the packaging, go over the features, take it out of the box, set it up, show you the app, and then I'm gonna walk through kind of doing some videoing of it functioning as basically a review of how it works. Okay, so this is the Roborock Qrevo S. So as I discussed, it's 7,000 Pascal suction, auto mop lifting, reactive tech obstacle avoidance, auto mop washing, auto mop drying, and auto dust emptying. It does come with a mop fluid that you'll need, and they recommend using that fluid as compared to others, and I would recommend doing that as well, just because it'll maintain it better. It has app-based features as well. Okay, so here are all the contents once you remove all the plastic. So you've got the docking station, which has 2 inserts here for the fluid. It has probably a vacuum area here. This is where it docks in. This is the ramp for it. Here's the actual vacuum, so this is what it looks like. All right, has sensors here on the front. That's what the bottom looks like, has wheels. vacuum slash mop area and mop head area there. All right, comes with 2 separate mop heads, some sort of insert like this, I'm not entirely sure what it is, power cord, and then it has a quick start guide, which we'll go over in a second. As far as other things, it has a safety and guidelines certification, has this insert here, which provides instructions as far as all the components, which I'll review in a second, and then a manual that's in detail, okay? Okay, so I read the manual generally and then looked over the quick start guide. So a couple things that we'll have to do is first off, peel off all the plastic on the outsides of this. So there's plastic here to protect it. There's a plastic piece here across the top. The vacuum itself has plastic on the top as well. And then we do have to insert the mop head, which if you look here on the bottom of this, there's these hexagonal shaped things. You just press it in. And so there's 2 separate mop heads here. And so the sweeper area here, the vacuum's here, and this is the mop head area, and there's the wheels. All right, and so that's all the kind of installation initially to start. These are going to be, I believe, a complimentary dust bag or disposable dust bag. So if you want to use that, you can put that into here. But as far as the following steps, we'll go through each of the steps one by one. So first off, it says attach the base by pressing down both sides of the base firmly and then pressing the connecting part into the middle until you hear it click. And so this is the base. You should just see it, it should just snap in. And so that's exactly what you need to do for the first step. After that, what they say is connect the power cord to the back of the dock and keep excess cord inside the storage box. And so we'll rotate this around. So the power outlet is right here. And so what you want to do is plug this in here. I got it flipped around. Hard to get in there. Okay. And so if you have excess cable, you can just put it here and then run it here so any excess is out of the way. So you can put this directly against the wall and you don't have a ton of cable here, which is always nice. I spend like hours doing cable management for my new Flexi spot desk, and I just can't stand cables being like out and about. And so the fact that they incorporated this and made it kind of streamlined is nice. And so this will probably plug directly into the wall. So now the next step is basically, it says place the dock on a hard and flat surface, whatever it might be, against the wall. Plug it in until the docking station indicator light is on. Make sure you have Wi-Fi available. And what they recommend is about 0.9 millimeters or 2.9 feet area as far as like a width area. And so I've got a perfect spot in my apartment that's like built for this, and I'll show you where. Okay, so this is the alcove like right next to my bedroom, and it's actually like the perfect size for this. So we'll plug this in here, and fortunately there is an outlet here, so I can just run all the extra cable directly in this wall or like slot in the back here, and now it's kind of like the perfect location for that. So now the power indicator light is on. All right, so the next step is here. What it says is basically open the clean water tank and fill the tank with water to the max, close the lid, lock the latch, and fit the tank back in place. They say to prevent corrosion, don't use any disinfectant. Not recommended by Roborock, and do not add too much cleaning solution or water because it can make it not work properly by slipping. And avoid water tank deformation by not using hot water. And then if you have watermarks, you can just wipe them down. So basically the water tank's going to be on the right hand side here. Looks like this. It has an opening lid here, and it grab the water through here. So what we want to do is fill this to the max. All right, so maybe I'm blind or it's not obvious, but in looking around the top, I don't see any max line or indicator line. So it's not obvious, but my assumption is that this ledge here is probably the max. And so you want cold or not hot water, and you'll just fill this all the way to the top. So as far as reinstalling this, one thing I did want to point is it does have a water emblem here, so that's the water emblem, but it also goes on the right side. In order to put it back in, there's going to be a ledge here, and that matches up and lines up with this. So what it says is press and hold the power button on the robot, and then when the power light goes on, place the robot on the dock to charge and make sure the dock is powered on. Press the home button on the robot to make the robot automatically return to the dock for charging. Dock status indicator light turns off. Robot power indicator light breathing is charging. I don't know, that basically is like the indicator lights for that. So we'll do that now. All right, so we haven't looked at the robot up close really extensively yet, but there's a power button here. I'll turn it so it's facing you. Power button here, home button here. This is the sensor. There's a ledge here that lifts open, and that's where you can see, I think, the dirt and stuff like that. So this can open up, and you can clear this if you run into issues. But basically it's kind of demonstrating that you can empty this out if it's filled up. So that's that. There's also a filter on the back side here, right? And then we'll go through downloading the app and setting that up, but there's a QR code right here so that you can scan the QR code and into the app so you can get the app-based features of it. And then the rest of this is all sensors. And then we went over the bottom already. So what we'll do is we'll press the power button, hold it on, and then it lights up on. It's really cool because it's got this white illuminated light, right? And so now we have to put it into the docking station. Okay, so I think it goes, it might show you, but I think it goes this direction. Yeah, so it's in now, okay? And now we have to make sure that this is powered on and the docking station is powered on. Oh, and there it's going. It's finally making it. So it faces this way. So the power button and the emblem here face towards you. So that's how you have to do it. So if you would put it in, that makes sense too, because the power emblem and the home button are readily accessible. So that works. And then what it says is make sure that it's charging. So that's that last step here. And so it's automatically charging. So when it's docked, it's going to charge, and then the battery for the actual robot's all set. It has some caution things as far as like what not to do as far as sharp items and stuff like that, but that's all you have to do there. And now what we'll do is we'll walk through installation of the app on your phone and scanning the QR code. Okay, so before we do this, I did want to mention that the dust-free bag is already in place. So they give you an extra one, so you officially have two. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to scan this QR code. You're going to go to download from App Store at least for Apple. That'll bring you to the App Store. You're going to go get for Roborock and then download it. Once you have that, you're going to open the app. You're going to allow to send notifications, and then you have to go to sign up. All right, so then create your account here. So on that screen, it's going to ask for your email. It'll send a verification code to your email. You have to hit yes for the user agreement, and then it moves you on to creating a password for registration. All right, after that, sorry, the lighting might be hard, and I also installed a privacy screen recently, so we'll see the angles. It'll come to this screen saying product and service updates. I'll just consent for that, and then usually later on I don't, I take it back if it's annoying. Now what you're gonna go do is go to add device. All right, you're gonna allow it to use your camera, access your camera. Now you have to go over to the vacuum and get the QR code. So inside here, you'll scan the QR code. All right, so now you have to come back to it with it docked. So what it says is press and hold the power and docking buttons for 3 seconds or until you hear the resetting Wi-Fi voice prompt. The robot is now pairing mode, and your Wi-Fi indicator light will flash slowly. So you hold these two.
Resetting Wi-Fi.
And then you just hit reset Wi-Fi, and then you're gonna allow it to access location. You're going to go to allow while using app, and then you're gonna put your Wi-Fi password in. And then you'll save the password, and then Once you have that done, it'll be connecting to device. So you connect to device's Wi-Fi, allow it to join. So now you're basically, your phone's connecting with the system. So I had the issue in the app where it wouldn't auto connect, and so I had to hit the resetting button again by hitting both buttons, and then you can log into the Roborock Wi-Fi that way. So you might have to go through your phone's settings there for that. Once it's connected, you can go back to the app, and so the app is now successfully connected. And it's binding the device, so sending information. So it's connecting.
Wi-Fi connected.
Enter device, and allow to find networks, and that's loading. And then click agree for legal. Quick start guide guides you to robot deliver cleaning performance. Prepare before cleaning, declutter, open the door, prepare in space for cleaning. So basically prepare your home. It'll get familiar with your home. So it kind of discusses whether there's carpet or multi-level. I don't have multi-level, so that's one factor. Minimize disturbance. It has a do not disturb mode. So if you're sleeping, or if you have like kids or infants, you can turn it on or off. So my brother does that with his Shark one, where it goes on at night when everybody's sleeping, but it's downstairs. It'll memorize your phone or your home as well. And so you want to enable map saving so that I can remember that. And then this is kind of where it starts as far as looking at things, and then it'll start zoning different places. So what we're going to do is do quick mapping.
Starting mapping.
And then it'll start mapping. So it's now going to take a little bit longer to travel around the apartment, but basically it's going to map the apartment as it goes. And so if you watch here, it's going to look like basically start mapping out the apartment and figuring out how it works. And so we'll just follow it along and see what it does. So this is my bathroom area, and there's a walk-in closet there. It went right over my bath stone, which is interesting. And then it looked at my closet. Curious to see what it does with my meditation cushion. So it avoided it, which is nice because I don't really want it vacuuming that because it'll damage it. But as you can see, it went straight on the rug. And then right now it's under the couch, and I specifically got all mid-century modern furniture, if you look, with legs that are elevated so that it can automatically vacuum underneath all those surfaces. So it's back there in the corner somewhere. Here it comes. I'm curious what'll happen here, because it's probably going to struggle with my desk area and all the chairs, especially because the chairs are going to be like in different positions every time. So now this is my bedroom. And then I've got tatami mats that are going to be up or down at certain times. And so I want to see if it climbs on the tatami or not. So it purposely avoids the tatami, which is nice because I don't want that damage from being vacuumed by that or mopped for some reason. I guess it made up its mind that it needs to see something else. Okay, so at this point the mapping was all complete. It showed my apartment, and so now it's actually going to washing the mop, and so it's got a percentage here, and it's kind of doing that, or actually that's battery life, so 41%. But now it's just kind of doing its thing as far as cleaning. I think it's just allowing it to load. Oh, and so here's the map. So that's the map of my apartment, even though it's kind of looks like that. Oh yeah, so here's the bedroom. This is the bathroom and the closet area, and this is the main room. So what it'll do is it'll start working this area and customize it as it goes, and it'll auto learn that. But that's all I'm gonna do for this video. I'm not gonna have it clean or anything like that. We'll just see how this functions over time. I'll see kind of whether it runs into any issues, and I'll provide feedback as we go. But overall, I'm super impressed with this. It's gonna clean really well, and it'll be nice to have something on the go like all the time to clean, to make my life easier and allow me to do other things in my spare time. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.